Alrighty, everybody. So this is what we are going to be doing. We're going to create this ship really quickly. I'm just going to go through the through mechanics of it all. I'm not actually going to finish the ship all the way. I'm just going to show you the techniques that you can use to finish them yourself, right? So what we're going to start off with is we're going to go to poly modeling over here on the shelf, right? And we're just going to click that, and if this happens, right, we have interactive. I don't want that for this purpose, okay? So I'm going to go to create Polygon Primitives, and I'm going to turn off interactive creation. Create Polygon Primitives and make sure this is not checked, okay? So I'm going to go to sphere again, and it should create something like that, okay? So I'm going to press T on the keyboard, and it's going to give me my subdivisional axes. So I'm going to switch both of those to 8, and then the radius, I'm just going to go to 5. I want a little bit more space, okay? So radius is at 5, subdivision axis at 8, and same with the height, so 5, 8, 8, okay? The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go select my object. I'm going to go to the channel box layer editor right here, and I'm going to rotate on the X at 90. So now all this should be facing me, okay? Next thing I'm going to do is hold right click on my mouse. I'm going to select face right here. I'm going to select this face, press Control E, and we're going to see what we can do on this offset. So we will put the offset at 0.25. Okay. Now I'm going to go to my modeling toolkit, which is a tab over here, or you can click it right here. It should be under the workspace. It should be the first one. To the left of the man, I'm going to go into Symmetry. I'm going to go in Object X. I'm going to select this, Control E, 0.25, copy attributes. Right, so I got there by clicking this little drop-down menu or pop-out menu, copy attributes. Okay, click this, Control E, and going to paste attributes. I'm going to turn off symmetry. Control E, paste attributes there. Alrighty, so now we have got all that, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go again into Symmetry. So Object X, going to select, hold Shift, and left click these faces, and then press Control E again, and just send it back, right? There we go. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to hold Shift and left click these front faces, press Control E, offset it by 0.25, press Control E again, and then, oops, and then click these again, Control E, and send it back. There we go. All right, so now we're going to press 3 on the keyboard, and we're going to see what this looks like smoothed out, right? So what I want to do is go into Edge Mode, hold right click on my mouse, and go to Edge Mode, go to Mesh Tools, and going to insert Edgeloop right here. And I'm going to put it right about there. Okay. So we're going to press 1, we're going to see where that ended up. Okay. So the next thing we are going to do is we're going to create the wing really quickly. So I'm going to click there on my cube, and if I can't see my cube, then you can go here to the outliner and see cube, right? And just increase it to as big as you need it, and then thin it out. Make sure you don't go through, right? And then move it over to the left side of the map or of the canvas. And remember the front half of the hole has 25% of the wing, and then the 3/4 is in the back, right? So we are going to extend it, and oops, press W and bring it back. We're going to hold spacebar. We're going to go Maya. We're going to go left view. Nope. Is that it? Nope. Spacebar, hold and click Maya right view. There we go. Okay. So we can see a little bit better what's going on. And then we'll just fill in that space. Okay. Alright, so there we go. Something similar to this. Okay. So the next thing we need to do is hold spacebar, click Maya, and go to perspective view. And now we can freely roam around. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another square. I'm going to move it out so I can see it, increase its overall size to what I need, and then lengthen it out. Okay. And I'm not concerned if it's going inside the hole because we're not going to see anything inside there. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is press 4 on the keyboard so I can go into wireframe mode. I'm going to right click and leave it down and select face. And I'm going to make sure symmetry is turned off. And I'm going to globally, you have these red, green, and blue anchor points. I'm using the one in the center so it evenly scales. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to mesh tools, going to insert edge loop, and let's see. Okay, so we have freehand on this, and we don't want that for this purpose. Okay, not for every purpose, but just this one. So mesh tools, insert edge loop, and use the box. Make sure it's multiple, and that we have 1. Okay. And so now we can click that, and it'll be directly in the center. And now I'm going to right click, go to edge, press Q to get out of insert edge loop mode. Select the front and the back. Now you can press 5 on your keyboard, and you can see it shaded again. Okay. Now I'm going to press R on the keyboard, and then I'm going to scale this out. Okay. There's the strut and the wing. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create another cube. I'm going to globally increase it. Well, let me see it first. And make sure it doesn't go past that first ring. You'll see this right here. This edge right here. I want to make sure this box doesn't go past there. Okay. So I'm going to go to object mode and increase that. Right about there should be good enough. Okay, and then we're going to move it back. There we go. And now we're going to squeeze it down because it is rectangular in shape, not perfectly square. Okay. So now we're going to insert edge loop again, right? So going to mesh tools, insert edge loop. It should still have the same settings as we had before, and just click right there. Okay. Next thing we're going to do, press Q to get out of insert edge loop mode. Click that edge, shift click the other edge, and then extend it out a bit. Okay. Alrighty. Let's go back to this wing. I'm going to select it. We're going to go into insert edge loop mode again. This time I'm going to do 2 instead of just 1. And click it right there, and it should automatically take care of that for me. Okay. Evenly spaced out. Next thing I'm going to do, right click, go to face mode, press Q to get out of insert edge loop mode, click the top part of the wing, shift click the bottom part, press R, and then scale into Z. Okay. Now we got that. So now I'm going to press W, and I'm just going to bring those in. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to create another box. We're going to crease it as wide as we need it. And then squeeze it down. Okay. Then we can press W and move it back. And just make sure it cuts the hole in half. Right? And now we're going to insert Edgeloop again, right? This time we're going to do 3. Okay. Click on edge, there we go. That is done. Right click, go into face mode, press Q to get out of whatever mode we were in. Shift click these two faces, press W and move it out. All right. Next thing we're going to do is press 4 on the keyboard to go into wireframe mode, and we're going to click the front ones, and we're going to scale them in the Y. So it's thicker up front and thinner in the back, just like it is in the concept. And the next thing we're going to do is press 5 on the keyboard so we go back into shaded mode. You can take a look at that. So what we need to do is the next thing we can do is make a bullet, for the things on the wing. So I'm just going to run through that really quickly. I'm going to create a cylinder, press W so I can see it. I'm going to insert edge loop. So mesh tools, insert edge loop. We're going to actually go in here and change this back to 1. And click right there. Press W, double click the cap, right? The edge of the cap. And then click and bring it down just a little bit so it looks just a little bit like a silo, right? And then we are going into crease mode. So mesh tools, crease. Okay. So we're going to double click. We're going to the bottom cap, press 3 on our keyboard, middle mouse, click and hold and drag. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is press Q on the keyboard, hold right mouse button, go into object mode, and then scale it up. Okay, there we go. So now you can scale this down, rotate it by pressing E. By hand if you want to, which I wouldn't do. I'm just going to rotate X 90 on your channel box layer editor over here. And then move it over there. Okay. So if we want to see wireframe and shaded, we're going to click this option right here. And that way we can see it. So it's going to be 3 on top, D, bring it down, bring it back because we don't want it in a straight line, Control D, bring it down, move it forward just a little bit. And now we can select all 3 in our outliner, press Control G. Right. And now it's a group, so we can call it Bullet Club 1. If you know what that means, come see me. Right. Then press Control D, and it'll duplicate that group, and we just bring it down to the bottom half. Alrighty, so next thing we are going to do is click both of these bullet clubs, and they seem to be pretty decently cut in half. So next thing we're going to do is create a cylinder. We're going to rotate on the X at 90. We're going to bring it forward so we can see it. Roughly put it in the general area and scale it down. Press F if you want to take a look at it or focus on it. And scale it down. Move it so we can see it. And roughly see that it can fit inside the bullet or whatever this thing is. I just called it a bullet. All right, so I know some Star Wars nerd out there is like, it's a 1677 TX-172. I don't know why you don't know that. You're a horrible Caesar. But eventually it'll happen. Okay. I'm willing to accept that fate. Okay. So there we go, cutting it in half. So now we want the anchor point to be in the front of the cylinder, right? So how do we do that? First, we go snap to points, hold D, and just bring it forward, and it should pop right into place, right? And then turn it off. Okay. So then we're going to slide it inside the bullet, or the TXC 7274 22 3 6 7 8 9. Okay. And we're going to increase the length roughly halfway, or just so it touches right here. Okay. Then we're going to press Control D. We're going to slide it up and move it back. Press Control D and then slide that forward. Okay. So Shift click all these, Control group them, Control D, move them down. Okay. So there we go. It's all taken care of. All right, so we're going to do the little wing strut right here. I'm going to create a new cube. Going to increase the size. Going to thin it out. Okay. So then we're going to move that into place. Thin it out a bit more so it's just within the boundaries of that centerpiece. And you shouldn't be having any issues with it going through. If it is, I'm just going to do it incorrectly so you can see. All right, so the problem is that your piece is too thick. All right, so you just thin it out or move it forward, and it should take care of that for you. Okay. So the next thing we need to do is we need to duplicate this wing from one side to the other, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to marquee everything by holding left click and marqueeing everything. Okay. We're going to hold down Control and we're going to click the back wing in the hole and the middle piece right here that we need to fix. We still got to bring this out. And we're going to press Control G and it should put our center point right here, right? So next thing we're going to do is we're going to edit, duplicate special, and click the box to the right of it. And we're just going to press apply. It should be right on the other side. And so you should be able to do all this very, very quickly in class, right? Very quickly, very easy. The hardest part is the extrusion and the offset. Everything else is very easy. All right, repeat it after me. It is very easy. Okay, so now whenever we look at the concept art, so look up Darth Vader, TIE Fighter, we are going to. There's plenty of other things to add to this, right? And with all the things I just showed you, you can pretty much get most of this done. So if in class you did get this done really quickly, then choose one of these and really go in here and start adding all these, you know, just cylinders and cones. That's all it is. Cylinders and cones, cylinders and cones. Cylinders, cubes, extrusions, extra pieces, right? So all this stuff won't be modeled from one piece. It'll be a bunch of pieces modeled together, right? So that's what we would do. So make sure to do that for yourself in class. And hope this tutorial helped you out. If you have any questions, you can email me with the email address on the syllabus, okay, or the curriculum, or whatever you want to call it, okay? So again, you can find me anywhere under Shotgun Scream. Feel free to hit me up on any of those platforms if you have any questions, and I will see you in class.